I'm glad these penny stocks I've been holding are trying to make their way back up. ALF did something really interesting yesterday. Very surprising. Last I sold ALF was at 720, and this morning it's at 930. So overnight it had a pretty nice big jump. Scary moment again, because now we don't know what it's going to do right now. Midday these things tend to fly. Look at yesterday, like in the morning it wasn't doing much, 940, 910, and then all of a sudden around 1020, 1030 it just had this huge jump. Came back down. I was able to sell it at 720, and I didn't think it was going to go up anymore, because I actually sold after selling it at good gains. I ended up having to sell it at a loss in the end, but then it just flew. Like it's really bipolar, as you can tell. It sinks, it flies, it sinks, it flies, which pretty much is like the day trading scalping dream right there. This is kind of what you want, but still very, very annoying. Very annoying. Working with a shorter amount of cash to actually buy things with. I'm just trying to get this grand total of how much I have to work with to a good like 1,000. I think the total I'm working with for the portfolio is 800 right now, because majority of it is in crypto, and even that's actually, I'm excited to see where the next buying chance is going to show up, because right here, so we're looking at what happened with crypto overnight basically, because my portfolio reflects majority of the 300 Litecoin I have, right? So Litecoin this morning 113. I'm waiting to see if it's gonna go to maybe like 100. I'm definitely gonna pick up a lot more, which should drive my average lower, and of course it'll be great fun when it starts coming back up. Bitcoin down to 29. With China shutting down basically all their mining facilities because of course, lawful enforcement, and on top of that, the bigger hit that recently kicked in, because the shutting down of mining was already something that was kind of announced, right? But the bigger news that recently hit was that Chinese banks had to completely relinquish any chances of them doing any crypto business, which definitely took a hard hit, because then a lot of businesses which are based in China also can't use crypto. So then, that's altering everything. It's like a trickle effect. One person says no, and that ends up affecting a bunch of other groups back to back. So I have my money held hard right here, majority of it. The rest of it is in some of these first three guys right here. Now yesterday the big players were offy, because clearly this morning it's gone up a shit ton. So anyone that held, and then Torch has made it to 10. Last I sold, Torch was at a profit from 890 to 925, right? And even Torch, just like offy, was being pretty bipolar. Weird little changes here and there, just jumping up and down like a ball, and then all of a sudden, of course, this morning it's at $10. So this should be exciting to see where that goes. I have Lukong as well. I averaged 292. This was actually pretty fun yesterday as well. I rode it from 273 to 292. I also got some, so I bought 50 at 265, bought 50 at 273, sold it at 292. And then when it came to 292, I bought it again. So now we just wait to see what happens, and this is definitely going to easily make it to 3 at some point, so we just kick back and watch. ORPH, I still have my position here. If I had more fundings, I would pick it up at this cheaper price again and lower the average. Though remember, you never really want to buy high, but the reason I did here was because that was the day where it was actually going pretty high. So I had sold at 789 or something before. Well, last I sold was right here, 1694, you see. And then it came down to 789, where it looked like that was going to be a bounce. It was going to come down and go back up again. But of course, it didn't. So when it will, it will. BBIG yesterday was on a pretty good upwards trend, as you can see. out of nowhere all of a sudden. So that was something that a few people wrote. Today it might make it to 5. We'll keep an eye on it. Inhibicase, excuse me, which mainly just treats like bacterial infections. It's also a pharmaceutical company, but their platform is mainly for bacterial and viral infectious disease, of which the viral infectious disease is a bigger deal, but I haven't seen anything from them when I did my research on their work, anything regarding like things of the viruses we care about right now, like coronavirus or HIV or any other major virus that doesn't already have a treatment. They don't have anything going on for those guys yet, but I wanted to introduce it to you guys because I have it on my watch list over here as well. So I on my little work laptop over here, I keep things open that I want to keep an eye on, and I kind of run through those tabs every morning just to see how they're doing or if there's any news on them. So this is one of my guys that will be on the news watch list. But today Ocugen seems to be doing stuff, because you can see it had quite a jump yesterday. So we want to see if it keeps jumping. Ocugen is known for randomly just making it to $10 out of nowhere. It's a really weird stock, to be honest. But it's based in Pennsylvania, so it's an American stock. Last I sold was actually at a loss after buying multiple times and trying to get it to reach $7. It never did. But generally speaking, most times I have sold this, it's been at a pretty good plus. And you can see today it's clearly past 7. So it flies off without any real reasoning, though. It just randomly takes off, and it's pretty annoying, because that's kind of what's been happening lately ever since memes are the thing. Stocks that have no reason to be flying randomly start flying. Stocks that do have reason to fly don't really make it. So let's actually check on some of those guys too. We got AMD sitting pretty chill at the $5 mark, which must be its new support ever since its debut with the hemopurifier that they've made. I really just want to pick it up at a flat $5 though, so I have my eyes on it big time. I just want to get it at $5, hold it, and then wait till their next big news. And with APRE sync, APRE is another one. The P53 reactivator. Yeah, I'm waiting for this guy to come down to like 4 and then hold a position long term in here as well until their next research development. CVAC looks like it's slowly trying to go back up to where it was. This randomly sank. Well, it wasn't random actually. They had bad news that their vaccine didn't really have much effectiveness against coronavirus. This is a stock that's usually over $100, so they became heavily discounted. I didn't really have much funding available to actually grab a position in it, but I'm sure they're going to slowly recover, because what they work with, this thing, mRNA based medicine, is actually a very big topic. I wrote it just a little bit from 80 to 82, sold it, which was definitely a good call looking at the fact that it's at 60 now. So those are basically the tabs we have open, are basically the calls that I sent out. Yesterday was pretty nice. I scalped Torch a couple times. I was back in at 935 and I sold it at a plus. But I didn't think it was gonna be at 10 today, which it is. Alfie flew and triggered my sell loss. I mean, limit sell order, but then again, I really didn't think it was gonna keep going like that. And today we're watching GSAT, Torch, AEI, Ocugen, LKCO, and BBIG. Let's see what they can achieve. Let's see what they can try to do today. Are you waiting for AEI to fall to 5? No, not AEI. I'm waiting for AMD to 5 and APRE to go to 4. I want to hold positions on those two farmer stocks at those prices because they have a very promising research they've done, and they've developed really good stuff. So once they go on to their next level of progress with their development team, it's definitely gonna, of course, skyrocket even harder than it did just a month ago. Both of them are doing really big things, and that they definitely look like they're following the scope of the future of medicine. So that's the case scenario there. I'm gonna grab a position here too. So I just picked up a little spot in NTech. Hopefully it's gonna, the next thing it'll do is go back up. I'm aiming for, so they had a merger that just got approved today. That's the news they have for NTech, and it's possible that this might go to $7 eventually. So for the small account game that I'm doing with the lesser amount I have left to invest, I'm hoping that this will help come back up. And then Torch, of course, we all know is big news. I've been riding it along for quite a while now. Hopefully we'll show even more big promising news today. Excuse me. I mean, there's no harm in holding Torch. You can hold Torch. I wouldn't depend on Torch for a dividend though. I would hold Torch, enjoy it, let it get big, and then take my profits. Because everyone that's been mentioning Torch dividends, like, no, there's no way they're gonna give $1 dividend or anything like that. It's very unlikely. And if they do, it's gonna be a sign that their company's pretty shit. Then, the best dividend stock in the game is ORC. ORC is the best dividend stock. And I was trying to get to a point where I was holding like 20,000 ORC stocks. That's my eventual plan. Like whenever I decide to no longer do day trading because I'm busy with other stuff, all my money is going to go into just sitting in ORC. And ORC basically is a monthly dividend paying stock that has the best ratio of cost to how much they give. So I have a dividend pending. I already sold all of this because it was really high. I sold my ORC at 579, which was a pretty big gain for me, considering that I bought most of it at 547. But when I had 4,000 shares of it, like this is what they give. They give about 6 cents, and they're a stock that's worth less than $6. So the ratio is actually really good for what they give you. That's what you want to look at when you're trying to buy a dividend stock, because dividend stocks are obviously an actual investment, not a trade. So you're actually going to be holding it, and you're going to be gaining profits out of it. It's a good feeling, and the best thing to do is just buy a dividend stock that is going to have a good ratio, and ORC has the best one. And I also don't really like dividend stocks that pay quarterly. It just doesn't really feel like making any money. So monthly dividend stocks is my personal favorite, and ORC is definitely, like, without a doubt, every video you'll ever find that's actually talking about good dividend stocks will talk about ORC. And I can't wait till these guys finally get to the plus point, so I can just offload, because as much as they were supposed to explode, they just never really got a chance to. Like Advaxis, this has happened many times, right? We've all had that one farmer related penny stock we were watching, and then one day it just became a $10 stock. So this is such a cheap stock that I'm just going to hold it, because what they work in is actually cancer, which is obviously a huge thing in pharmacology, right? In the pharmaceutical industry, anything you treat, anything you make that can possibly treat cancer is obviously a huge deal. So, that being said, it's best to just relax and hold this. So if anything, I would put more money into here. So I have 20,000 shares of this right now because of course that's what you can do when something is worth this low, right, under $1. If this stock eventually finally does something where it blows up to $2, $3, $4, imagine, right? That's 3 or 4 times 20,000. So of course, this I'll be holding. But Regulus, EVFM, these two I'm waiting for them to just become green. I'm just gonna take the money out of it because I really want to pick up some Bitcoins while it's on sale very nicely. Yeah, I've heard about the merger. Selling all assets and giving them out as dividends. I get the idea there. This is kind of why you want to hold Torch. Remember, to receive dividends, you actually have to be an owner of the company for quite a while. You can't just buy the stock today and get dividends tomorrow. Right? So to actually get dividend payments, you legally have to be holding the stock for quite a while. So definitely, if you've already been holding it for some time, keep holding it. And if you get a nice dividend out of it because of holding it, then that's great. But you want to be careful with what happens there because no one knows. So when the merger completes, the stock may be worth, let's say for conversation's sake, Torch may be worth $20. So you'll have had effectively doubled your money, right? Because you obviously bought it less than $10. So if you don't sell Torch, you won't be able to gain those profits. And then they might be giving the dividends out maybe a week or 2 weeks later. When they officially give the dividends out, their stock is going to sink. So what you need to know is that you should buy the stock now, hold it long enough so you can actually qualify for a dividend, right? And then if you sell the stock, you still get the dividend. Like for example, look at this, right? I've already sold all my ORC, but I'm still getting the dividend because it was confirmed. It was announced May 28th that I'm going to receive it June 28th, right? So you see how this happens here. But when this happens for Torch, let's imagine this is Torch and maybe it's at $20 and then they finally have the day they announce what they're going to be giving out to everyone. That day, this might actually sink because giving out dividends is like giving out free money. And as a company, having to give out free money obviously will make you sink. It may not sink, but that's the concept I'm throwing out there. You just got to be careful with that. So what I'm saying is you want to make sure you get your green, take your profits from Torch going up in value, but also get the dividend payment. Now remember also that dividend payment may actually be less than how much you're going to get from actually selling Torch, because depending on how many shares of Torch you actually bought. So all in all, just keep a good eye on what's happening and be very cautious with all of that. Now with Alfie, I believe the whole concept of artificial intelligence, a lot of chit chat about artificial intelligence everywhere. I feel like this will, of course, just like Torch, make it to 10 eventually. Started off as $5 stock. It's been having a really bad roller coaster ride, which I never like. I hate roller coaster stocks because scalpers love it, but scalpers like to talk as if they could see the future. Like for example, if I bought this down here at 614 and then it went to 818, of course I would have a sell order ready to just sell it at 8, and then it comes down, and then you see, what are you gonna do? You're gonna buy it right here? I mean, did you know that it was gonna keep doing this? No, like it's silly. And then at the end of the day, it just dives like that. What are you doing all these hours right here? So scalpers like to talk as if they were able to see the future, and they actually bought here, sold here, bought here, sold here, bought here, sold here. That's not true. That is not what they're doing. A lot of people will say that they were actually able to buy the stock at the bottom and sell it at a high, but do they have proof? Have they shown it to you? Are they actually, like, it's great. You wanna share your happiness. That's great. Show me the screenshot that you bought it at 5 and sold it at 6. That's amazing. I'll be very happy for you. But if you just type that you bought it at 5 and sold it at 6, yeah, it's your word against the truth, and who knows what actually happened there. So be very careful with a lot of the Discord channels where people are going to constantly keep saying they went so green, so plus, then they should be a millionaire by that point if they can see the future that well, right? It's like it's just weird. But the way I do this, like, it's all very transparent. I'm being very straight up, very realistic. There's nothing to hide, nothing to lie about, because it is what it is. Like, as I said, I have money in Litecoin. And there's nothing bad about it. Remember, although I may be down at 20K, this is not a truth yet. any gain or any loss doesn't become real until you actually sell. So, you know, it is what it is. As soon as I have money that comes out of either one of these three stocks, I'm going to load up a shit ton more, probably buy 200 more. Let me see, how much would it be to buy 200? Yeah, 22,000. So if I actually sell all three of these shares, ADXS, Regulus, and EVFM, I can pick up 200 more at this price, which would severely lower my average cost and put me into a place where I can be green much quicker. And with the 500 Litecoin I would have at that point, as soon as it turns green, it would be very green, you know. So never really be sad about crypto dipping, especially if you have a position in it. I actually know someone, and let me just make sure it's, you know, a lot of people say I know someone, but it's actually themselves. I don't own any Bitcoin right now, right? I sold Bitcoin. I had two at close to the peak. This is where it went to, I think, 62, and then it just started dying, right? So I sold it at a point where the first time I heard the news that China is going to ban crypto. Now, I have a friend who actually is still holding crypto that they actually bought at 55K. I don't feel bad for them, right? I would have felt bad for them if they actually sold, but they're holding it and they're good to go. And right now they can buy it again at this lower discounted sale offer and reduce their overall average cost, and they'll be just fine. You know, so nothing to worry about. I get my 10,000 out of here when I sell this. Hopefully, it's actually going to be maybe 150. I would be very happy selling this at 150. Obviously, I'll be happier selling this at a higher price. Same thing here. I want to sell this at like $2. Both of them, I would love to sell them at $2. You know, and then the money I would get out of that would be the major investments into discounted crypto, which would then hopefully start flying once America and other countries that are, every single country, by the way, international law, every single country has something to do with either banking in China or business in China or development in China or something with Chinese involvement. You know, if China owns a lot of your company, then if they tell your company you can't use crypto, that sucks for you. You know, and that's something that does happen. China owns a lot of things all over the world. Now, a lot of people aren't even aware of. Like, there's a Caribbean island called Dominica, right here in the Caribbean area, and that island is full of Chinese restaurants, and it's actually got a lot of ownership. That island is heavily funded and owned by China. Not entirely owned, but heavily owned. And I wouldn't know what percentage. And there's a lot of Chinese population there as well. So it was very interesting to me to see that when I went there. And I had no idea that China actually owned some of the Caribbean island funding. So you never know who's got some involvement with China, and it's all hurting right now. I can imagine a lot of these companies are going to cut ties with China because obviously they want to buy these cryptos, right? Everyone saw Elon Musk do it and ride it up and have a great time. So now everyone else wants to be Elon Musk, of course, right? We all want to be, to some level, Elon Musk. They're going to want to buy crypto at this discounted price and then wait until it doubles, which it can't. It's at such a nice price now, it can easily double. So that's the story there. You know, nothing to freak out about. It would be crazier and more scary if there was no validity to why it's all sinking. So after I sell these three big boys, I'm gonna pick up probably, most likely just one Bitcoin, maybe two. I just want to grab a shit ton of doggy coin though. You know, I already picked up 10,000, but that was at 31 cents. Didn't see it coming to this price. So now that it's at half of that, I'm gonna pick up the same, probably 20,000. Remember how averages work. So if I pick up another 10,000 at this price, it would just cut my average down to maybe around, the 17 plus 31, that's 48. So 25, 24, 25, that would be my average. But if I pick up 20,000 at this price, that would definitely bring my average down a lot more. And I want to have an average of maybe 20 or 15 cents so that when it comes back to 45 cents, that would triple the investment, and then I would just sell it there, after which I can, of course, buy more. There's multiple ways to deal with it. People do what they do. I like to just sell. Some people sell half, take your profits. That's another thing you can do. And it all depends on what your technique is, you know, whatever you like. In the very end, my goal is to just have, I believe it was to have 20,000 ORC. If I have 20,000 ORC, let me just do the math real quick. I think I had, because I was trying to see, of course, establish a passive income thing. Why did my phone died? That's not good. I was trying to establish a passive income thing where basically 20,000 stocks of ORC would allow me to have pretty much full-time income every month without actually having to do anything for it. And remember, investing money into a dividend stock is a million times better than leaving your money in like a savings account or something where you're literally never going to make any money. The bank does not give you money. Banks just like to take your money. RGLS, well, so let me see. The lowest it got to this past week with everything sinking was 87 cents, but I didn't have money to buy more. But you see here, it was almost, I believe this day, it had hit 134. Like, we don't see it on the chart, but it had gotten to 134. It's supposed to keep going. They've done really good stuff. If you look them up, and we can look them up. Actually, we didn't look at our daily stuff. So first, let's look at RGLS. Let's see what's happening. So you see here, present additional data from autosomal dominant polycystic kidney disease. Right? PKD isn't the worst thing on earth, but no one wants to have it, and there's no real way to fix this, right? So they're actually coming up with good things to possibly fix this. You can see all the greens they have everywhere, right? So they keep popping up with many days that it just randomly booms. I'm hoping to sell it at 150, but if it goes to 130, I'll probably, you know, try to sell. I'll probably sell it and then, you know, buy like a smaller position again if it dips down a little bit. I just need to be above 118. But I'm confident that after all these mini green booms, the next news they'll come up with is probably going to be a very significant one, where it will actually really boom. Damn, Shopify is a $1,500 stock. That's crazy. I did not know that. All right, let's see. So GTE is a penny stock that is on the radar today. I like to organize my trending stocks on StockBeep in order of price because I like to buy them cheap and sell them expensive. Right? 20,000 times 0.065 is $1,300. Oh, so then I think I need, yeah, 40,000 stocks. Right, that makes sense, of course, because I had, so you see, I had 4,000 and I was getting $260. If I own 40,000 shares, that would give me $2,600 every month. And to buy 40,000 shares is $220,000, right? Which, of course, I'm not there yet. But at the very end, when I'm done with these guys and I buy my crypto and the crypto booms and I sell the crypto, if all that goes accordingly, then I will have enough of this where I can just leave a good $200,000 in this company and sit back. And every month I would get $2,600, which is practically full-time income, you know, without having to really do anything else besides leaving money in here. And just because that's a really grand sum, I would want to buy this at a dip. So if it ever crashes or something, you know, right after I sold it, it started going back down, came back to the price range where I could buy it, you know, but I'm not ready to buy it yet. Had I picked it up right when the pandemic was hitting, you know, right around the pandemic, it was like a $3 stock. Look at that. The cheaper you can buy a dividend stock, the better, right? I mean, it's a fact for anything, right? The cheaper you can buy any stock, the better. So that's the goal. I want to slowly build up to owning 40,000 shares of ORC. What happened here? Trending stocks. Why did the list get tiny? Oh, there you go. Perfect. So, yeah, I know Alfie's trending. We all know that. Oh, it updated. Is it? Oh, it's 9:30 now. Great. Of course it updated. So, market has opened actually. Let's see. I want to keep this right here because I do want to look at it. So, Torch. down 50 cents. See how different days, different things happen. As soon as market opened, that shit sank. NTech is also going down. Alfie is going pretty stable. This actually looks like it'll probably take off. Since it's pointing up, it'll probably take off. We're not watching more. See, where was I? Okay. So this is so close to being green. I just needed to do that already. Both of them, just a few more cents, and of course every cent matters with them. Lukong being stable at 250. This is a dynamic website, by the way. It's changing as the day goes on, which is the best thing. I have this open on my other monitor just to watch what's happening. DSS. We've been looking at DSS a couple times. It's had its moments where it went up a lot, but it's a penny stock, so a lot means a little. BBIG. This also looks like it's about to take off. So all in all, it looks like this is a no-go. So I'm just gonna sell all of this. And Torch. Well, this I'll just let it sit because I know I'm gonna. Yeah, this is definitely gonna eventually come back up. Out of NTech. Probably want to grab this. So let me see with 260. All right, let's just grab. I would want to sell this at like 5. Let me put a limit sell order in there too. Because BBIG it's at the top of the list for how much attention it's getting right now. So I'll just submit that. That'll fill whenever it'll fill. Not a problem. NTech is probably gonna boom later into the day. This guy is being a little bipolar right now, but I'll give it some time. Usually by 11, by the way, most of these stocks tend to have their random boom going up. You know, same thing happened with Alfie yesterday. Alfie is also pointing up, but now I don't have any money left. But I can probably grab. How many can I grab? Like 5? Yeah. I'll ride 5 of it. That's fine. What did I get? 989. Yeah, I mean it's just going up. 989 is at 10. 1008. Yeah, Alfie's been going up every single day, right? So you can't really go wrong with that. Let me see. Other than that, I have this in order of price. So these are some of the guys that are, as you see, BBIG keeps showing up pretty green. Pacific. Yeah, I'm not really interested in any of these guys that are over $20. Although it's good to see Brooklyn Therapeutics in here again. You know, this was another pharma stock. In the beginning, when I started this channel, AVNS and BTX were the 2 pharma stocks that really skyrocketed because of good research. AVNS was the one with the Alzheimer's research, so they both flew big time. And I forgot to sell BTX, so I have a high position in there that I need to get rid of whenever it reaches that price I'm at. I don't even remember what price I'm at. Yeah, this is about to hit 5 pretty soon. Alfie, I'll probably, because it's pointing up right at opening, it's probably gonna actually make it to like 1050, but I would want to play it safe. I'll just say I'll get rid of it at 1020. I don't have that many anyway. So if that hits 1020, I'll get out of that. This is almost at 5, and I'll get out of that. This, there you go, it's turning back up. Torch, I'll probably sustain this 20 stock position of 998, see where it goes by the end of the week. And I think that's about it. So now all I'm waiting on is EVFM Regulus to go off, become green, so I can take my money out. And ADXS, I'm gonna keep holding. I'm gonna hold the 20,000 shares of this I have. This stock is a penny. It's literally 0.4 cents, 4 pennies. And when this stock finally comes up with something promising regarding cancer treatment or anything really, it will skyrocket. And I want to be a part of that ride. I think I've seen enough of those rides where I ended up just watching. Now I actually want to be a part of one. So that's about it for today, and thanks a lot for joining. And then join the Discord channel if you want, and I'm still developing it, trying to set up bots in it. I've had to learn how to set up bots, so I have a couple people that are reaching out to me to help me with that. I want to be able to set up bots so that all these other people that give alerts, there's a bunch of other channels that give alerts, I want their alerts to show up in my thing as well, and my thing is free. There's no, I have VIP enrollment written here, but there's actually going to be no VIP thing. The only VIP thing I'm going to ever make is probably going to be for just the options aspect of things, not actually buying shares. So this filled. Oh no, this isn't that. Anyway, and so like these two people that just messaged me, they're actually trying to help me figure out how to make bots. This guy, Top Notch Trading, he's trying to help me figure out how to make bots. So other people's announcements and other people's calls can actually show up on my channel. So yeah, thanks a lot for joining. I'll see you guys again tomorrow morning.